Hi everyone, this is Lizzie Freeman, and this presentation is a nice brief introduction to the module itself, just to get your juices flowing and thinking about the module itself, and preparing you a little bit about what's to come. Okay? So, in terms of your module leaders, I'm your module leader for psychology, and my email address is at the bottom of the photo. And then you've got Emma Herron as module leader for politics, sociology, and ASS. So welcome to the module, and we can't wait to just work with you guys on the online live sessions we've got planned for you. And we really hope that you're doing okay adapting to all the blended learning approach that we have here on our courses, and you're managing to work remotely fairly well. This is the kind of almost the middle of your kind of semester, and yeah, I hope you're keeping connected with people, keep talking to your peers, always ask any questions to your tutors. Okay. So in terms of this presentation itself, we're going to cover the module, the teaching approach and support. We're going to talk about the schedule and the calendar, so giving you some really nice, easy snapshot of the whole shebang. And then in terms of the module assessment, we're just going to briefly cover that so that you are aware of it. And then we'll talk about how we're going to support you during your placement itself. So the module has three main components. The module-specific elements are the taught sessions and the assessment. Okay, the taught sessions are the lectures and workshops, and the assessments, we have two tasks. Task 1 is presentation, and task 2 is a portfolio. We'll go into a little bit more detail about this later and in future lectures. Now, the taught sessions and the assessment is something that Emma and I have leadership over, okay? Those are the pure module elements. In terms of the placement is part of the module, but is run and led by the work experience team, which is central at Sheffield Hallam University. Okay, so any questions about the taught or assessment elements, you come to me or Emma, and in terms of the placement, you go to the work experience team, or our head of placement in the department, which is Catherine Day, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. Now, in terms of the taught sessions, the lectures are online anytime, and the workshops are all online live. Okay, we will update you if there is any changes, but at the moment that's the way it is. And the placement itself will be local, most likely remote working, and it's 240 hours over 8 weeks. The placement starts on Monday the 25th of January and ends on Friday the 19th of March. Okay, but because it is remote working, it is possible that you could potentially, if you wanted to or needed to, complete the placement within 7 weeks, for example, if you added more hours onto your time, only if this is healthy and productive way of doing things. The other thing that students ask us is, can I keep my part-time job whilst doing the placement? And what we normally say is, yes, as long as you're healthy and happy doing so. It's really important you don't overstress yourself or overpressure yourself. But the advantage of the remote working is that you can be flexible and you can work around other commitments you have, whether that's voluntary or paid, or indeed if you have caring responsibilities, etc. So there are benefits to the remote working aspects that the placement most likely will have. So it's important you just talk to us about that. Talk to the module leaders about this, and also your academic advisor can advise you on this as well. Okay? So in terms of the approach, I have mentioned this, lectures will be online anytime, seminars will be online live, and drop-ins will be online live as well. Drop-ins are really important because you can really get that one-to-one conversation and support, so I do recommend you take advantage of those. And the Task 1 presentation, which is on Tuesday, April the 13th, which feels like a long way off, we will try and actually do this on campus if possible. It all depends on the government guidelines at the time, but we just wanted to let you know our intentions there. But you, of course, will be kept up to date. If it is online, well, it'll just be simply an online live session, and you still will be presenting, but just on an online format. We can talk about all that much later down the line when things are a lot clearer, but we just want to let you know what the options are there, okay? Either way, you're going to be very well supported in preparing for your presentation as well as your portfolio. In terms of support and contacts, keep in touch with Emma and I as your module leaders about anything related to teaching, learning and assessment. In terms of placement, you need to keep in touch with Catherine Day and the work experience team about placement itself. And in terms of your academic and personal development and support, it's your academic advisor, which is either your DAP2 tutor if you're a psychology student, or your GD tutor if you're a sociology, politics, or ASS student. So yeah, it's really important to keep communicating, and if you have any questions, or if you're getting stuck about something or stressed about anything, for any reason, just contact us and we'll guide you in the best way possible. So the teaching schedule looks a little bit like this, okay? So the module kind of properly starts in week 19, okay? This week is week 14, so that gives you a sense of how far that is. And you can see that the workshops are all 2 hours long and they're online live, okay? And the kind of topics we'll be covering are things like researching your placement setting, preparing for placement, things around assessment and support generally with your placement, and then the presentation practice and career planning, okay? And the other elements that we're kind of covering in our lectures are things around theory, how you apply theory, how you can be critically evaluative in your assessments. We'll also talk about how to think about your career and prepare yourself for that. And it's also celebratory. So for example, if we do get to do an on-campus session for your presentation, we'll be spending an hour kind of reviewing the module and celebrating your achievements during placement, and ideally inviting some placement providers to give their experiences as well. So it's a really lovely module. There's so much to it, and you're going to get a lot from it. So it's important you keep reflecting, keep talking to your peers, really engage with the content of the workshops and the lectures to make the most of the placement itself. And then the assessment itself is designed to, encourage you to articulate all the development that you've been doing whilst on placement, all the learning, all the skill building, and that the assessment is trying to help you articulate yourself in a really strong, clear, positive, constructive manner so that you can transfer that into your application forms for jobs and your interview processes. So it's really applied, and it's very much about scaffolding you to be able to sell you, for employers, because we want you to leave here prepared and ready to go out into the work environment or indeed postgraduate learning environment, depending what you choose. Okay, so definitely get engaged, get involved, and you're going to get so much out of this module. Also, what you can see in the schedule is kind of drop-ins. So there's timetable drop-ins that are really crucial for you to get that one-to-one support, and you know, anything you're worried about, any ideas you have about what you want to do on placement, or how you want to work with your supervisors, placement providers. You know, you can talk about that then. The more you talk and explore about things, the more you'll get out of the whole process. Okay, so during your placement, you're going to learn, at this whole module, you're going to learn about placement settings, for example, you know, how it impacts, what its impact is in terms of the setting and its activity, which sectors your placement setting in, and what values and mission and philosophy does your setting kind of, abide by. And, you know, the other thing that this module will help you do is to demonstrate your understanding of commercial awareness, and this is a topic we'll talk about in our week 19 lecture. We'll also be, talking about how you can apply your subject discipline. So during this module, you're going to learn how to do this. You're going to articulate issues, concepts, theories, relate them to your discipline, relate them to your placement. And again, this is real gold star stuff when you're talking to employers in the future. You're also going to learn about yourself, and this is super important because the more you learn about yourself, the more you're able to make good, informative decisions. You know, the more you understand about what you like, what you don't like, what your strengths are, what your limitations are, the better you're able to make good decisions for yourself. Okay? So definitely seize this opportunity to really learn about yourself. Reflect during your placement, and use that reflection to build your skills, build your learning, and also build your ability to articulate yourself really well. Now, in terms of assessment, this is just a brief overview, just so that you're aware of what's involved. So task 1 is a presentation. It's 10 minutes, 10 slides, and it's about articulating the activities you've done, showing awareness of employability skills, showing evidence of actual action planning. We'll discuss that more in detail soon, and engaging with the academic literature. As you know, this is Tuesday, April the 13th, likely to be 2 to 5 p.m. And we've already discussed how, if feasible, we will do this on campus, but if not, we will do them online live. Task 2 is a portfolio. It's 3,000 words, and there you need to demonstrate your commercial awareness, your academic theory, and your personal development and learning. Okay? You submit this by Thursday, the April 29th, by 3 p.m. Again, we'll go into a lot more detail about this in future lectures and workshops, but for now, there's a good snapshot of what's expected at the end of your semester 2, okay? Now, how we'll support you during placement, particularly because most of you will likely be remote working, we'll be wanting to give you weekly drop-ins online live, and we'll create these and send out links for these at that time. And also we'll be doing weekly video messages. Placement visits will be online live, and this is where you'll discuss anything, your progress, your activities with yourself and your placement provider, but also your placement visits will also talk to you individually, and they'll be done by your GD or your DAP2 tutors, okay? And always keep in touch with your academic advisor. They'll keep in touch with you as well and discuss any of your experiences or questions or issues with them as well, okay? And just so you know, allocations will be made and communicated to you most likely by mid-November by the work experience team. So, thank you very much for your attention. I really hope that's been a little useful snapshot of the module and gives you an insight of what's to come. We're really excited to get started, really excited to see you guys on the online live sessions, and we can't wait to work with you guys. So thank you very much. If you have any questions, then contact myself or Emma, and yeah, see you soon.